Valhalla is one of the top 3 hunter training institutes. Every year, countless hunters apply to carry Valhalla on their backs. Even with a low acceptance rate of 500 to 1, less than 150 people can graduate with the Valhalla name. In fact, the fierce competition started during orientation. Lee Sang-chil was Valhalla's highest-ranking compact instructor. Lee Sang-chil was seen observing the admission process. A young man also came up to him and said there were also many who participated in the selection process. He was Yu Min-jun, the successor of the Yushin family. Lee Sang-chil asked Yu Min-jun if he came to see his nephew. And of course, Yu Min-jun did come to see his niece, Soyeon. And his family, they expected Soyeon to succeed. Yu Soyeon is a genius born into a top 5 family in Korea. She could use mana, like an adult and only 10 years old. She could even add mana to her sword at the age of 13. And when, at the age of 16, he entered a competition against other Yushin family members and emerged as the winner. Well, that's all that's written in his personal file. Is there anything else I don't know? Lee Sang-chil asked. She can communicate with our family's guardian constellation, Yu Min-jun answered. Lee Sang-chil was a little dumbfounded and couldn't believe it, but Yu Min-jun confirmed it. That was the reason why the family was expecting Soyeon. The reason why Korea has the top 5 families is because of the guardian constellation associated with each family. In general, a hunter will receive a blessing or tie a contract with the guardian constellation. However, the guardian constellation of the 5 families was very different from other constellations. Yushin family, Sword God. Jangsin family, Spear Saint. Choijin family, Dao King. Osin family, Fist King. Dojin family, Bao God. The members of the 5 families receive the blessing of their family's constellation and gain talents and abilities that are different from others. There is also a big difference between just receiving the blessing and communicating directly. Communicating with the guardian constellation to make a contract with them openly. Sang-chil thought that if something like that was true, then she was really a genius. Yu Min-jun asked Sang-chil to show his nephew's battle with the screen. Because of the crowd of reporters and recruiters, it was impossible for him to go directly to the arena to watch. Sang-chil was also curious, so he showed the fight with the screen. And the battle is also about to begin. The eldest daughter of the Yushin family, Yu Soya, 17 years old, is preparing to fight Kim Ju-hyuk, 17 years old, whose identity is unclear. It seems that the two of them do not attack each other and look relaxed. In fact, Ju-hyuk was seen yawning, so Sang-chil thinks he has no fighting spirit. Meanwhile, Min-jun believes the fight will end quickly. 3, 2, 1. The fight begins. Soyeon attacked first, slashing her sword at Ju-hyuk. Sang-chil, who saw this, said, at her young age, she can already strengthen her sword and has amazing mana control. Soyeon's sword slash arrived in front of Ju-hyuk, but he smiled. Sang-chil and Min-jun were shocked and dumbfounded. In fact, the reporters also showed a look of horror on their faces, because unexpectedly the winner in this short battle was Ju-hyuk. What the hell? Why is everyone so weak? Is this really 300 years in the future? Ju-hyuk said in astonishment. Back 300 years ago, a tall building called the Tower of Destruction stood. 2 people were seen fighting. A man wearing an eye patch, he is the boss of the Tower of Destruction. Parch, his nickname, is God of Destruction. While on the other hand, a person who looks similar to Ju-hyuk is seen. He is Kim Hyeno, who has the nickname Martial God. Kim Hyeno also defeated Barch, and the screen popped up with the message, "You have defeated the boss of the Tower Destruction, Barch. Stop the destruction of the world." But suddenly the Tower of Destruction shook violently and was about to be destroyed. Kim Hyeno wondered, why would the tower be destroyed? Is it because he killed the tower's boss? It seems that the wound on Kim Hyeno's stomach is very serious, and he won't last long. He recalled his memories, having worked hard as a hunter since he was a child. And he had just been able to make money and get recognized, but something like this happened. He thought again, whether he should have brought his students, but there was no way he could bring his students considering the power of the barch. Even if his students came along, they would just die. As he was pondering, suddenly a large rock fell and hit his head. 300 years after defeating the Tower of Destruction, Kim Hen opened his eyes, and he had been reincarnated in the body of a 17-year-old person, and now he was Kim Joo-hyuk. He looked quite satisfied because he could reincarnate. Although his body was weaker and younger, his knowledge as a martial god was still there. He believes that if he adjusts to his current body, he would have a comfortable and luxurious life, at least before the translucent window appears. There is a message on the translucent window, which is in 5 years. The Tower of Destruction will appear. Prepare yourself. Joo-hyuk looked annoyed and seemed to regret why he threw barch lava instead of regretting it now. Joo-hyuk was determined to destroy the Tower of Destruction forever and live in luxury and leisure afterward. Suddenly a new message appeared in the translucent window, namely, please take back your weapons and memories, on the 3rd floor of room 5 in Valhalla. Joo-hyuk understood what was meant by weapons, but memories? He was surprised. He planned to find a place called Valhalla. Back in Valhalla, and there was an announcement that the 4th day of the top 10 competition will begin now. For those who wish to register, please come to the competition floor. Joo-hyuk was sitting down and then got up and headed to the competition floor. He was in contact with the other participants. The audience cheered, and Sang-chil watched the competition. There seemed to be more participants this time, probably because the top 5 families were here at the same time. Sang-chil watched as Joo-hyuk faced off against Oh Se-hyuk, 17 years old, the eldest son of the Osun family. Se-hyuk noticed Joo-hyuk because he beat Soyeon on the first day of the competition. He thought Joo-hyuk was mediocre and felt calm in his heart. He thought that if he could beat Joo-hyuk, his name would definitely become more famous. The fight was about to start. He said, "I'll QD you quickly." "What does QD mean? Is it some kind of abbreviation?" asked Joo-hyuk. "It means quickly destroy," replied Oh Se-hyuk. "Oh, if that's the case, FO," Joo-hyuk said with a smile. "What?" Oh Se-hyuk looked confused. "It means fuck off, you retard," Joo-hyuk said. The eldest son of the Osun family, Oh Se-hyuk, was 17 years old. He was looking ready to start fighting. Oh Se-hyuk was not good at literature, strategy, or martial arts, but he still had a great talent, his body. He was able to do what others could not do. Unless they have mana, and even with just a little practice, he can become stronger and faster. He was born with an extraordinary body, even without effort. He deserves to be called a genius just because of that body. Kim Joo-hyuk told Oh Se-hyuk to give up while insulting him, but Oh Se-hyuk didn't accept being insulted and he clenched his fists. Oh Se-hyuk jumped up and threw his fist at Kim Joo-hyuk. Kim Joo-hyuk realized that with his physical body like this, he wouldn't be able to win in a physical fight. So Kim Joo-hyuk recognized Oh Se-hyuk's incredible strength. Although, just because Oh Se-hyuk was exceptional in physical strength, it didn't mean that Oh Se-hyuk would win. Oh Se-hyuk also needed martial arts to support that physical strength. Kim Joo-hyuk dodged a punch from Oh Se-hyuk. Oh Se-hyuk began to lose his balance, and Kim Joo-hyuk punched Oh Se-hyuk in the stomach, knocking him unconscious. The victory for Kim Joo-hyuk was obtained. Kim Joo-hyuk thought, although this body is weaker than his body before reincarnation, but there should be no problem to hunt monsters and become a hunter like before. Kim Joo-hyuk also left the battle arena. The reporters began to gossip. They did not expect Oh Se-hyuk to be defeated with such a simple attack. Meanwhile, the head of the Osun family, Oh Chulshin, thought that it wasn't a simple attack. After all, if Oh Se-hyuk had never learned martial arts and only improved his physical abilities, Oh Se-hyuk could easily dodge punches from people his age. But that was something that could not be avoided. Oh Se-hyuk let his emotions get the better of him and immediately attacked Joo-hyuk. And Oh Se-hyuk used magic, which was rarely used to try to end this fight as soon as possible. But Kim Joo-hyuk moved his head slightly to avoid the blow. because Oh Se-hyuk thought that Kim Joo-hyuk would definitely get hit. Oh Se-hyuk shifted his center of gravity in all directions, thus losing his balance. Oh Chulshin thought Joo-hyuk was moving faster than Se-hyuk's full speed, and it seemed like Joo-hyuk had a plan from the beginning. Oh Chulshin realized that Joo-hyuk was a talented monster, but here many realized it and knew the value of Joo-hyuk. Oh, Chulshin was determined to bring Joo-hyuk to his family at any cost. Some fans were seen shouting and cheering in support of Choi Arin. Joo-hyuk looked at the fans and was disgusted. Why would the bastards who had already gone to the military call a 17-year-old Nuna? Finally, the final of the ranking match began. This match was between Kim Joo-hyuk and Choi Arin. As the match started, both of them didn't move at all, as if they were waiting for each other who would attack first. Kim Joo-hyuk thought that Choi Arin was better than the others because he was trying to read the situation. Kim Joo-hyuk took the initiative to attack first, then walked forward casually. It seemed that Choi Arin's sword was emitting lightning, so Choi Arin had mastered the Choijin family's elemental change ability. Choi Arin also slashed his sword at Kim Joo-hyuk, but Kim Joo-hyuk's figure disappeared. Choi Arin looked confused. Kim Joo-hyuk said, if Choi Arin shows where to attack with his eyes, it will be easy to avoid. Kim Joo-hyuk's figure is already beside Choi Arin. Kim Joo-hyuk launched his punches. It seemed that Choi Arin was overwhelmed. His body was pushed back. Apparently, Choi Arin was able to dodge Joo-hyuk's punches with his sword. No wonder Kim Joo-hyuk felt that his punch did not hit Choi Arin's body. When Choi Arin felt that Joo-hyuk's punch was very heavy, suddenly Joo-hyuk's figure was in front of him. Joo-hyuk directly aimed his punch at Choi Arin's sword. Choi Arin fell to the ground. Joo-hyuk felt something strange, like his posture was a bit tilted, and the winner was Kim Joo-hyuk. Kim Joo-hyuk was accepted into Valhalla as the first-ranked first. After Kim Joo-hyuk left the academy, many reporters and scouts from the guild confronted him. Kim Joo-hyuk was annoyed and Kim Joo-hyuk swore shut the fuck up. In Valhalla, there was a welcoming ceremony for new members. While listening to the welcoming speech, Kim Joo-hyuk felt very bored. There were people who kept watching Kim Joo-hyuk, but he noticed. Kim Joo-hyuk wondered if he was too conspicuous on the day of the reception. Kim Joo-hyuk remembered the message in the translucent window. He thought he just needed to take the weapon in memory, then leave, so there would be no problem, and he seemed to realize something. The welcoming ceremony was over. In the virtual combat simulation room, there was an instructor. He was Kim Lee-gun. He seemed confused about the class division. Because there are Yoo So-young, Choi Arin, Oh Se-hyuk. Kim Lee-gun looks frustrated because there are 3 out of 5 geniuses from 5 big Korean families, and Kim Joo-hyuk is also in this class. Kim Lee-gun really looked frustrated. He felt that this year he would graduate. But Kim Lee-gun tried to be calm in this situation. He tried to think to find a solution. Kim Lee-gun introduced himself to the new students. He was their homeroom teacher and instructor. Kim Lee-gun pressed a button, and suddenly they all moved to a place. Some students looked panicked and confused. Kim Lee-gun wanted to show his bloodlust here while holding his sword. Suddenly a bunch of monsters came. They seemed to want to attack the students who were there. Oh Se-hyuk estimated that there were about 100 orcs and goblins. Orcs and goblins immediately attacked the students. A shield was seen blocking them. Kim Lee-gun was happy. The shield worked well. Kim Lee-gun called Kim Joo-hyuk. Kim Lee-gun asked if Kim Joo-hyuk could finish off the monsters by himself. Kim Joo-hyuk was thinking. Kim Lee-gun felt Kim Joo-hyuk was afraid to face the monsters. Kim Lee-gun really hoped Kim Joo-hyuk wouldn't do that so he could start his class. But who would have thought that Kim Joo-hyuk would grin, and Kim Lee-gun looked confused. Kim Lee-gun asked Kim Joo-hyuk if he could handle the monsters alone. Kim Joo-hyuk agreed. Kim Lee-gun looked angry and told Kim Joo-hyuk to come forward to face the monsters. Kim Joo-hyuk asked for a reward, because new students wouldn't do something like this on the first day. It was like a test, so Kim Joo-hyuk asked for a reward if he succeeded. Kim Lee-gun looked confused. Kim Joo-hyuk asked what kind of reward he would get. Kim Lee-gun agreed and said if Kim Joo-hyuk could defeat all the monsters, then he would do whatever Kim Joo-hyuk wanted if it was possible. Kim Joo-hyuk thought, mocking the gift, but he would still accept the gift. Kim Joo-hyuk asked Kim Lee-gun for a sword to fight the monsters. Kim Lee-gun gave him his sword. Kim Joo-hyuk prepares to get out of the shield. Kim Lee-gun and the other students were watching Kim Joo-hyuk. Kim Joo-hyuk immediately cut down the monsters. Kim Joo-hyuk also seemed to have no trouble facing the monsters, yet easily slashed the monsters. It's been 300 years since Kim Joo-hyuk held a gun. Doesn't feel bad. It used to be that because of the monsters, the world couldn't do its part, and they used various types of weapons that could be grabbed. But still, swords or weapons are quite familiar. There was a monster that attacked Kim Joo-hyuk from behind, but he was able to dodge it easily. It turns out that the attack pattern of the monsters here is very simple. The monsters here are well-made fake monsters. Kim Lee-gun saw the fight. He felt disbelief, because he only lent a sword. That sword doesn't have any magic power or swordsmanship, but how can it cut anything easily? It looked like the sword was sucking the monsters. The other students saw it and thought it was crazy. Kim Joo-hyuk finished defeating the monsters, and he was eager to go to the constellation room. As Kim Joo-hyuk looked at Kim Lee-gun, he questioned the promise that was made. In the afternoon, the first day of class was over. Kim Lee-gun told the students to go to the dormitory and rest. Kim Joo-hyuk looked very tired. He felt that the class was very long. I want to get what I need and leave here as soon as possible. It turned out that Kim Joo-hyuk had never gone to school before. Although Kim Joo-hyuk found the class boring, he was able to get information from there, especially stories related to constellation. In his previous life, there was no such thing as constellation. Constellation is used to refer to the transformation of a person who has the fate of becoming a god. Most of the constellations are related to their hunter holy relics, and they give special powers to the hunter. Valhalla in Korea is the third largest academy in the world with many constellation relics. Kim Joo-hyuk thought everything about swordsmanship and how to kill monsters was useless. Kim Joo-hyuk felt that his current body was very weak, so he wanted to go back to the dormitory and study seriously about martial arts. Choi Arin suddenly appeared behind Kim Joo-hyuk. While in the Valhalla teacher's room, Lee Sang-cheol was chatting with Kim Lee-gun. Kim Lee-gun thought that Kim Joo-hyuk was not an ordinary high school student. He thought it was absurd. Lee Sang-cheol also looked incredulous. How could a high school student who had never even met a monster kill a monster? They both looked a little confused. Lee Sang-cheol thought it was strange. From what he saw, Kim Joo-hyuk had something special. Lee Sang-cheol said Kim Joo-hyuk is an orphan. He came from a small orphanage, from a very dangerous area. Kim Lee-gun doesn't think that the information is fake, but Lee Sang-cheol says it's genuine because he did his own investigation. Lee Sang-cheol said it was possible that an imposter tried to enter Valhalla and made a scene during the entrance ceremony. Lee Sang-cheol will talk to the principal so that Kim Joo-hyuk can enter the constellation room, even if it's just the first lower beach. There will be a problem if Kim Joo-hyuk enters the constellation room. Kim Lee-gun was worried about what would happen next year. He thinks it won't be easy to control the students in his class. Lee Sang-cheol said there was an exchange student from the Ventric family in another class. That student was Rockdil Ventric, who was expelled from the British Academy for causing trouble. Kim Lee-gun felt a little relieved after hearing that, because the situation in his class was better than the next class. Kim Joo-hyuk looked at Choi Arin and asked what was the matter. Choi Arin immediately said that she wanted to learn swordsmanship from Kim Joo-hyuk.